want to make a quick video. It's in reference to the video I made a while back about bloodworms containing internal parasites in them, such as the parasite that causes hole in the head, which is Hexamita. Here's an instance of a client's fish that was fed bloodworms, and I shall precise not inclusively just bloodworms, because we have fed them pellets, all types of very nice pellets, good ingredients. Yet on rare occasions it was fed bloodworms, and it doesn't need a science expert to tell you that on top of his head is Hexamita, hole in the head disease, not caused by vitamin deficiencies or lack of proper nutrition, purely simply bloodworms. And I know many of you will continuously repeat, but I've been feeding my fish bloodworms for all these years, everything's nice and peachy, no problems. Maybe on some occasions you've lost fish to other symptoms than the ones you see right now, and you totally avoided that it was Hexamita. Hexamita has a bunch of different symptoms. Sometimes they just drop dead. They don't even get to the point of being sick enough to develop hole in the head. They just drop dead and you think, oh, it's something else. Continue feeding your fish bloodworms if you like, but on a weekly basis I fall upon those poor cases of fish full of holes in their head, internal parasites, and it's hard to treat it, and it often comes back. One of the suggested medications is metronidazole. I use that, but I also use penicillin because it's a gram-negative antibiotic. Now, this antibiotic only treats the symptoms, the inflammation, the rot that it causes inside of the host fish. The host fish basically becomes infected upon eating those worms or another fish's feces, or wherever those worms would be present in your tank or in the food that you fed them. And then it doesn't cause so much trouble while it's alive inside of the host. Aside, you'll notice some weight loss, some dull colors, because it's gonna suck up all the nutrients out of the host. Now, where it becomes a problem is when you either deworm or the parasite dies inside of the host and the host is not able to expel. The holes in the head are apparent during the time that it feeds off the nutrients of the fish. But this type of bloating, as you can see, is after the parasite dies inside of the gut or the organs of the host fish. And this is the moment your fish will die. So it will stay alive while the parasite stays alive, but if the fish is not able to expel the parasite after the parasite has died inside, that's where the problem happens, and that's where the fish dies. It bloats up and its external organs start swelling, they start decaying, and if you don't notice that right away, the fish will die. And I'm pretty sure this fish will die, but I'm still trying my best to save it. He's on some Epsom salt right here. I'll show you. I added 1 teaspoon per 5 gallons, or even a little bit more, I think. This is 15-gallon tank, and I added a dose of 400 milligrams of penicillin, and this will do daily for 5 to 10 days. Also, if he survives, I will put him on a deworming regimen for about a week, and then repeat in 3 weeks if there's any more eggs of the parasite, because yes, the parasite can die off, pass, but still leave eggs inside. Or if the environment is contaminated with the parasite's eggs, then it's a vicious cycle. Then you have to disinfect your whole tank. So before you go through all these shenanigans of deworming, buying expensive antibiotics, why don't you just save yourself the trouble and stop feeding bloodworms? I'm not trying to be negative or mean or start a riot, because I got a lot of negative attention from my last video about bloodworms related to hole in the head, Hexamita. But it's purely informative, and you see the victim in front of you. Do you want this to happen to your fish or not? That's really the question. Like I said, he was not inclusively or exclusively fed only bloodworms. Regular good diet this fish had, but he contracted the disease. And there's hole in the head caused by a lack of vitamins, minerals, and proper nutrition. Like sometimes it happens to Oscars. But there's the Hexamita part, which is a parasite. And parasites are parasitic and contagious. Anything infected with the parasite or eggs of the parasite will infect your fish. And when you do look at the back of the labels of some dewormers, it will say clearly, for cases when you fed live worms or black worms or tubifex worm, which are even worse than bloodworms, then you end up with things like that. But bloodworms and tubifex worms and anything hatched in fresh water will not contaminate your saltwater fish. So it's exclusively only for freshwater fish. Okay, that problem. So please do yourself a favor. Don't go down that road of bloodworms. I'm not doing bad publicity for any brands. I'm not mentioning any brands. I'm not going to go into any brands. I'm just saying it's a saltwater fish nutrition, not a freshwater one, just because of the risks of parasite. They will not autopsy every single one of the worms for quality control. Okay, and you don't deworm worms. So here we are. All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to see more. All right, bye-bye.